I am NeoStarling. And if you weren't sure before, now you are.
Hello, everybody. It is your host, the NeoStarling. How's it going, everybody? I just want to kind of give you my recap on the house special that we had on the WWE Network, the Madison Square Garden event, where, it was pretty much advertised that Brock Lesnar and Big Show would be the main event, even though I knew it wouldn't. It ended up being Cena and Rollins, but let's rewind a little bit, go back to the start. So, just wanted to give you a quick recap of the show and let you know the events that transpired. So this is how we're going to do it. All right, first off, we had Randy Orton and Dolph Ziggler teaming up against Rusev and Sheamus. Now, the show was all right. The match itself was not bad. It was a match. It looked like something that could have happened on Raw or even SmackDown. Nothing really got resolved, even though there was no real storyline. The thing about these house shows is that you don't necessarily have to have an actual storyline. I've always felt like the house shows are kind of like alternate universe WWE, where they come up with these different ideas that they might possibly want to use in like later on shows. But because it's on the network now, it has to be used as actual continuity. So we did have this match. Ziggler and Orton were the victors after, I believe, a super kick followed by an RKO from Randy Orton, which I thought was pretty well done. Audience popped for the RKO like always. He's always going to pop for that no matter what. So that happened pretty much. And, we were done with that match. Moving forward, what else did we have here? Okay, now I'm on the WWE's website trying to, see the fight card, how it went down and whatnot. Oh, yeah. Next, we had Neville against Stardust. This is actually a pretty good match. It wasn't bad. It was high flying like usual. Neville and Stardust are actually really good workers. Although I will be honest with you, I am kind of getting sick of this feud. It's never ending. They're trying to make it like this comic book story where, you have Stardust as the villain and Neville's the hero. And then you have like these special guests that keep coming into the shows. But in reality, I kind of feel like this should be the end of their rivalry. Hopefully, after Neville defeated Stardust with his red arrow from the top rope, that would be the end of it. I'm at least hoping, but knowing them, they'll probably rerun this match on Raw. So let's hope that doesn't happen, because as we all know, we do not need to see another Neville versus Stardust. At least I certainly don't need to see it. Maybe you guys might want to see it, but I don't really want to. After that, what did we have next here? Oh, so we had Team Bella versus Team PCB. Now, I don't know how many times you're going to pretend that Paige is not a heel, because she obviously is at this point, right? I mean, let's face it. She's walked out on her teammates. She flipped out when Charlotte gained the belt after cutting an epic promo, pretty much letting everyone know that the only reason you got this is because your daddy's Ric Flair, right? I mean, go figure. Even though Paige has had like a trillion opportunities to get over, and she hasn't gotten over the way she necessarily should be. But it's whatever. In any event, the match was pretty decent. It wasn't a bad match at all. I did not see Becky Lynch and Charlotte walking out on her during the match. That was unexpected. So to see that happen, I guess you could say Paige got her just desserts. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. After that, she pretty much started crying and complaining. Oh, why did you guys do this to me? I mean, come on, let's face it. You had it coming. Let's be real here. I mean, I would have walked out on you. Whatever. That match happened, and as we well know, the Bellas ended up taking advantage of her, and they won. Awesome, good for them, right? All right, so what do we have next over here? Next we had, this was actually pretty cool. So we had Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental Championship. This was actually a really good match. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of funny because this was Jericho's 25th year as of this moment, his 25th year in the wrestling business, and he pretty much let the audience know and everyone how grateful he was to be here and whatnot. And it was a very good, heartfelt moment. And it's funny because I was watching this with one of my friends, and I was watching it. I'm thinking to myself, he's going to stare at the lights, right? Like, he's pretty much there to put over Owens, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And it did. It was probably, in my opinion, the best match of the night. It was a hard-fought match. Jericho pulled out the stops and showed that he can still, go. But Owens did gain the victory with a roll up, which I kind of thought, I don't know, like Jericho deserves better than that, right? Why are you gonna beat a guy with a roll up? He's like a mid stage boss. You know, at the very least, you should use like a finisher on him of some sort, even if not the the pop up power bomb, at least some sort of submission mover, something that's not as simple as a roll up. It feels kind of cheap. You know, I felt like that was like a little cop out right there, and I know they were trying to emulate what he did with Ryback, where he gives him the thumb to the eye and whatnot, but he didn't even really do that. You know, he pretended to, but it didn't really look like he did anything. But Owens again the victory. I did give out a shout out to Lance Storm. Lance Storm is awesome. He has his own wrestling school in Canada, and I was always a fan of his. If I could be serious for a moment, I've always been a Lance Storm supporter, and it was good seeing him there. I like that he got a couple of shout outs from Jericho. That was pretty damn awesome. So because of that, Jericho gained some points in my book. Either way, after a hard fought match, Kevin Owens does take this victory. All right. So moving on from that. What else do we got here? Oh, we had the New Day versus the Dudleys. I actually thought this was pretty cool. The New Day, they're really starting to grow on me, man. I actually made a video, a small little video on Twitter, which you could find if you follow me at NeoStarling on Twitter, where I pretty much imitate Big E, where he comes out and, he goes, "Feel the power!" And I did that, but they pretty much cut a little promo on the Dudleys on their way inside the arena, which was pretty cool. So that was pretty cool. Their match was really well done. I still think the Dudleys still got it. They did pretty good. I like that 3D that came out of nowhere towards the end. It kind of felt like a Randy Orton RKO out of nowhere, but it was a 3D instead. But they ended up getting disqualified. Well, the New Day ended up getting disqualified because of Xavier Woods interfering. And of course, it's not like we didn't see that happening, right? They're going to make the Dudleys work for it. I don't think they're just going to give them the belts just like that. They did end up putting Xavier Woods through a table via 3D after, which I thought was awesome because they made it seem like, they were going to catch it instead. So that was pretty cool. I dug that. I really thought that was cool. So, this victory goes to the New Day because New Day rocks. New Day rocks. Anyway, moving forward from that, what do we have next here on this card? Oh, yeah. So we had Big Show versus Brock Lesnar, as Paul Heyman would like to say, which he did cut a promo earlier, and he had like two iPhones on his hand. One had a case, one didn't. I guess one's his personal and one's his work phone or whatever, but he should really do a better job of protecting them. Because I have an iPhone and it kind of like cracked in my pocket. I don't know how that happened, but it did. Anyway, I digress. Let me get back to what I was talking about. So Big Show was basically there to make Brock Lesnar look strong when he fights against The Undertaker at the upcoming pay-per-view. Of course, we knew, come on, let's be real here. You really think Big Show was going to was going to beat Brock Lesnar? Now, we didn't see as many suplexes as I would have liked to have seen, but, he still won the match. Brock defeats the Big Show as expected. I kind of wanted to see the superplex from the top rope and then have them collapse the ring just like they did on that SmackDown. I thought that would have been awesome, but for that to have happened, that would have been the main event, which it wasn't. But it's whatever. It was still a decent match. Very short match, but what can you expect? It is a house show. It's not like it's a full-blown pay-per-view where they're going to go all the way. Big Show, again, was there to make Brock look strong, and he did, of course, because he is the Beast. And you can't mess with that. So after that, we go to our main event, which was John Cena versus Seth Rollins in a steel cage match for the United States Championship of the World. Early on in the show, before any of this even happened, I like how Renee Young had a backstage segment with Kane. And Kane, he has this whole like Jekyll and Hyde personality going on. Even though it's kind of copying what TNA did with Abyss and Chris Parks. They're like the same person, but not really. They're kind of biting off of them a little bit, but I really like the way Kane is pulling it off. He's doing an awesome job of making it seem like he's this dangerous demon, but then he's this professional, upstanding citizen that works for the WWE, and he's their director of operations, and he just wants to make sure that these employees get the best care and, that they're doing what they need to do, basically. So he's been doing a great job of that. He's actually been the most entertaining character. One of my old roommates that was watching the show with us, he's not really a big wrestling guy, but when he saw Kane exchange personalities back and forth, he started laughing a lot. So he was very entertained by that segment, which I thought was neat. So anyway, Rollins and Cena have their match. They had a good match like usual. I actually couldn't finish seeing this match because, I had a few things to take care of. But my homeboy, Jason, you can catch him at Vegapedia on the internet. There's your shameless promotion, Jason. I hope you enjoy it. Anyway, even though like 2 people are going to see this review. But, yeah, he pretty much filled me in on what happened throughout the rest of the match. So as Seth Rollins was going to climb the cage and, get his victory, the Demon Kane ends up coming out. And I don't know if he was the Demon Kane or if he was regular Kane. Feel free to let me know in the comments. So basically, he comes out, he distracts Rollins, he stares him down, and Rollins is like, I'm going to go back in here because that guy's crazy. So he goes back in, and then, Cena wins, and Kane comes out afterwards, starts beating the living hell out of Rollins, and then he gives him a choke slam, and, he gives him a little tombstone power driver to close the show. At least that's what I'm aware of at this moment. If I'm incorrect about any of this, please feel free to correct me. I would appreciate your feedback on this video. It'd be awesome if you guys do that. But anyway, that's been my review for this show. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Give this video a like, share it even, and please subscribe. I'd love it. I had an older channel, but I am now using this channel. I am now NeoStarling. I'm no longer the Wizard 411. So I hope you guys enjoyed this show, and I hope you know who I am now. And if you weren't sure before,
Now you are.